Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And so we just want to welcome you to Tech Life Weekly. I'm here with my partner and friend, Miss Francine Gregory. I'm Terralina Austin, and we are the BizChicks. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And today we'll be talking tech. Fran, what do you got for us today?
Well, today in tech history, let me spin this around. Okay, come on now. Tech is being fun today. Anyway, welcome everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing some things in tech history, but apparently my little doohickey here is spinning out. Hold on a minute.
Oh,
Normally it's just up. I don't know what the deal is. Woo. You know how you get the Oh, let me go to another browser. Maybe that'll work. Mhm. I don't normally use, and then maybe this site is not working today. Okay, so let me do plan B.
there you go.
So today, uh, it's Friday. And so
Mm-hmm.
this story is coming from Tech Brew today.
Okay.
And they are saying it's Friday and its earnings seasons, and rumors of AI's demise might have been premature.
Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yes, we can't connect to that page for whatever reason. So, let's keep going over here. So, it says Microsoft edges past Google in another AI focused earnings season. And DMV forces cruise robo taxis to hit the brakes in California. I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we talked about the robo. So I'm gonna go to that story, and then let's just look at that story.
Yes, because I saw a story on the news about the commentator took a ride in an Uber. Was that Waves or whoever they are, in Phoenix, and he took
Waymo,
us.
yes.
Yeah, and he let us get in the car with him, and that was interesting. So now, but San Francisco saying what?
Okay, so let me read this story.
Mhm.
DMV forces cruise robo taxis to hit the brakes. The department is pulling GM's service permits after a series of accidents. Now, see, this is not Waymo, this is Cruise.
Mhm.
So GM has Cruise, okay? And
Mhm.
it says San Francisco is about to have fewer robo taxis roaming its hilly streets. The Department of Motor Vehicles for California suspended Cruise's operating permits, forcing the GM owned service to pull all cars from the road immediately after a spat of accidents involving its autonomous vehicles. The department claimed Cruise has misrepresented the safety of its autonomous technology. And the move isn't coming out of nowhere. In August, the DMV ordered Cruise to cut its fleet in half as it investigated recent concerning incidents, which at the time included a collision between a fire truck and a Cruise car. Then earlier this month, a hit and run collision pushed a pedestrian into the path of a Cruise vehicle, which ran her over and left her in critical conditions. So that one wasn't the Cruise fault. That was somebody hitting.
That's what I was gonna say, and that could happen to any driver.
Yeah,
I
that could
mean,
happen to us who are humans behind the wheel.
exactly,
Right.
because you weren't driving the car to hit the lady. You weren't expecting her to be tossed in front of you.
Exactly.
Go
Still,
ahead.
the suspension is obviously a huge blow to Cruise, which won a major expansion in San Francisco from the
Mm,
California Public Utilities Commission in August, along with Google-owned Waymo. The DMV said in its statement that it will not reinstate permits for Cruise until it proves that it can meet safety requirements to the department's satisfaction, concluding that the cars currently pose an unreasonable risk to the public. The news also comes after the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration announced a probe into Cruise last week over the safety measures it takes to protect pedestrians. Cruise confirmed in a statement that it will be parking its operations, and a published long blog post detailing its response to the pedestrian incident in San Francisco. And they say our teams are currently doing an analysis to identify potential enhancements to AV's response to rare circumstances like this one, the company said. Now, so I understand that. That is, and everybody criticizes Tesla for not.
mhm.
How come the self-driving is not out?
Well, here's the other thing. When I was listening to the news report about, the self-driving cars in Phoenix, they were saying that out of 6 million test drives, there were only 200 incidents. I wonder what the ratio is for human error.
The ratio for human error is a lot higher,
It has to be.
right? And so the cars and things are,
Mhm.
what can we say? Um, it is
Well, they have a lot more eyes than we do.
right. And now they have self-driving in beta in the Teslas, and but Tesla will not go full self-driving. People have been complaining. You said it was coming out last year. You said that, and he was like, we don't have it dialed in enough to allow, because they also know humans get behind the wheel to do dumb stuff even though they're in the car and they're supposed to be in
And
the car.
they're impaired. And if they think they don't have to drive, there's no telling what's going on in that car.
It's self-driving. I ain't got to put my hand, I don't have to do anything. I'm like, yeah, no. And they still haven't worked out the kinks for self-driving.
And there are some major roads, going through mountains, allowing for mudslides, like things that so I just think we're doing really good with the technology.
Right. And I believe most of the car companies are being uh, um, cautious, or they're thinking it through, not
Certainly.
just throwing it out there, just to be the first one that has, you know, autonomous driving.
Correct. And with all the necessary permits and things, it has been checked, double checked. I know people have recently not necessarily had a great respect for government, but they really are cautious. And we really are fortunate to live in a country with FDA and consumer protections in force before they let people turn things loose. People don't just turn things loose.
Right.
And particularly in California. California is highly regulated. It's a big state. And so we have to account for a lot of different environments.
Yeah, and for the DMV to move this quickly to pull something, you know what I mean? They didn't pull it from everybody. They pulled it from, you know what I mean? Because they could have did the whole bathwater baby, throw out the baby with the bathwater things, like, oh my God, let's just shut them all down. They didn't do that. They took them by company by company.
Recently, wasn't the first automobile accident between a bicycle and an automobile, and then the first accident with the autonomous car for Tesla, I believe, was between a bicyclist. I said, is history just repeating itself? What's going on here?
And sometimes it might be a bicycle, and okay, there's human error on both of them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
The human equation is the large part of what happens.
Indeed.
So let's see, what else do I have over here? Hospital diagnostic aid. Researchers found hospital ICUs, lack of sleep, and mood swings. Researchers found that these keywords help artificial intelligence effectively detect distress during healthcare workers' therapy sessions in the earliest months of the COVID-19 pandemic, according to a study published in the Journal of Medical Internet Research. AI on October 17th. The findings from the researchers at New York University Grossman School of Medicine could potentially help healthcare workers address burnout before it reaches critical levels. Finally, they say, we have a thermometer for anxiety and depression. Um,
Interesting.
Very interesting. And they're using AI to do that. Okay, so let's see. Let me see what other consumer tech. Uh, okay, so they're highlighting the tech of tech, and this comes from Tech Brew. Is social media bad for us? Let's count the ways. There is no shortage of discussion about the ways in which social media is detrimental to our mental health and society, and those have been put under a microscope since the beginning of the Israel-Hamas war, fanned by flames of AI-fueled mis and disinformation. And at its worst, social
Wow.
media is responsible for actively spreading fake news. As it is at its best, it's giving users whiplash by wedging cooking demonstration and clips of otters being super cute amid dubious information about a devastating humanitarian crisis. Um, the best, not great, and that's for full-fledged adults. That's to say nothing of how social media affects children's and teens. And according to a New York Times report, nearly all US states and Washington, D.C. filed a suit against Facebook and Instagram parent Meta, contending that the company knowingly used features on the platform to cause children to use them compulsively, even as the company said that its social media sites were safe for young people. um, okay, so people are still saying it's not good or whatever, but then the parents should be the ones controlling that stuff, right?
Mhm.
And we should be controlling our stuff too. But as we have seen, we have a challenge sometime
You
curtailing
know,
our selves flowing through the scrolling, being over on
mhm.
places and what have you. You still got to be disciplined yourself. So maybe that's why the kids are having issues.
Well,
Okay,
something,
sorry.
I think it's easy to say that the parents ought to be controlling stuff, okay? Um, However, when we came along, TV turned off at 11 or whatever in your local area. You couldn't access it. It was just gone. So,
Right.
you got a
So
24-hour cycle of information, of what would we call it?
it's constant information, and
And
it's constant information coming at us, and
exactly.
it's such a barrage of it that you have to do what TJ tells us, which is to uh, curate your feed.
If I
And
may, good
get,
morning.
good morning. Go ahead, Dr.
Morning.
T.
Good morning.
I just talked about this on Mediascope on Wednesday. And so there are two things here. Everybody's at fault, right? We already know Meta is at fault. They don't give two ice buckets of cold water about any of us. And if they can sell your data, we've already seen this because they've sold data before. They're not interested in privacy or safety unless somebody calls them out on it. So we've seen that before. Meta is definitely at fault for this. However, look at the flip side, what you all were saying about it, the parenting and things. That's definitely a factor in this as well. So we're all at fault. The problem that I see here is that the more we should hold these companies accountable, but we already see that they don't care. So we have to do something about it. And the more that we let parents and ourselves and people off the hook for monitoring these things, the less we will tend to do about it. It's the same thing about oh, well, a company is supposed to do that. Oh, well, the government,
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Meta
Mhm.
didn't sign up to babysit your children.
Nope.
That is not their job.
That's not
That's
their job.
your job. So to me, that's like suing, like all these erroneous lawsuits, only in America, but all these erroneous lawsuits for things where you can sue and it's really kind of borderline your fault.
Mhm.
But the company provides it. So now it's one thing. I will say this, there is an addiction when it comes to these types of things. And I do understand. I also understand that young minds are not fully developed. And it's very easy to get caught into that, even with adults. Let's sit and watch how long you mindlessly scroll through things. So there is an addictive nature to it. The difference between this and cigarettes or anything else is that I think that you also have the power to come away from it, right?
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
it's different from a chemically addictive substance that really overtakes your body. Because if you think about it, even though it's addictive, if you have to, when you forget your phone sometimes, although many of us don't do it anymore, but when you forget your phone for the first few minutes, you're like, damn it. But then after a while, you're like, oh, well,
Yep.
and it becomes what can I do about it? So if you
Exactly.
separate yourself from that, you can overcome that quote unquote addiction. Sorry, go ahead, Terry.
No, go ahead. No, I'm agreeing with you 100%. Because, like you said, if I've lots of times I've left something like my phone, or I'm like, I'm going to the store real quick. I forgot my phone. I got this. I'm like, I'm not walking back to get it. I'll just go get what I want to. And it's like you said, oh, well, I can live without it for a few minutes. But some of these, and I agree with you about the parents, is that it's your job. You wouldn't let your kids smoke cigarettes. You wouldn't let them drink alcohol. Why is it? Because of it's social media or phone or what? It's because it lets the parents off the hook. They can remember during the pandemic, they said all these women who stay at home moms, they were saying like the kids were at home now, so they couldn't drink, they couldn't shop, they could. Well, what am I going to do with these kids? I was like, well, school is not a babysitter. You got the kids now, so now you are in the role of, and you should always be in the role of teacher to your
And,
kids.
and
You
really
can't hand them
quickly,
off to society.
exactly. And really quickly, it's a wake up call because it really indicates that we've been seeing all of these things as babysitters for our children. So the fact now that you are upset because your child is now addicted to scrolling on TikTok. Well, why were they on TikTok so much in the first place? Were they not provided with other avenues? Honestly, because when you think about it, and I know times are different now, but we still had an awful lot of screen time. When we were little, there was still a lot of
It was
media going
TV,
on. There
right? It
was
was
TV, but
TV
not
instead
only
of
that,
social media. Mm-hmm.
right. But not only that, that was the beginning of Atari, Coleco, all of that. So you had these home video game systems and seriously, there was a lot competing for our attention. But what did we want? Sorry, all we want to do is go outside. I'm okay with that, but can we go outside and I don't have to come back for the next several hours? I am
Right.
fine. There were
Right.
things to do. And to be honest, yes, there are other things that compete, but people always think that their era is more dangerous than anybody else's era. We had the where I grew up in upstate New York, there was a 22 caliber killer that was killing kids. So I mean, there were other things that were also equally as dangerous. And to me, they are excuses. If you want to do something else or make your kids do something else, you can.
And let me add this. Why does it seem so overwhelming and a lot of stories and a lot of information? It's because we have a lot of information. When we were kids, we didn't have all this information. It was the TV. It went off at us. I remember the TV went off at a certain time before
Exactly.
cable. The TV went off. It was just static. And now everything is 24/7. But you, as the adult, have to pull the kids back and say, that's enough. That's enough. They're
Oh,
not
so-
gonna self pull themselves. They can't. You
we need to
are
turn
supposed to do it.
So we need to turn ourselves off at 11
The
o'clock
parents
at
need
night
to do
and put
it,
up
and you have to do it for the kids. It's the same thing I always bring up about that. When you're on the airplane, what do they tell you when the oxygen mask comes down? What do? You put it on yourself first, and then you administer it to your kids. Because if you're unconscious, you can't do anything for those kids.
and
Same thing.
exactly. So if you can't turn off your stuff, the kids, the kids don't have a chance because
You
you
have
still
to
are.
turn it off.
You have,
the
and I'm talking
TV.
about personally
Oh,
as the adult.
Yes. I
I
agree.
need to monitor my own self so that I can effectively monitor them.
But see, there's a complaint now is why are there so many stories? Why is it so much in the news? It's because we have a 24-hour news cycle. We have a 24-hour everything. Nothing closes. It used to be a time the restaurant closed. It's 24 hours. The news closed. Everything is open. But you, as an adult, have to be responsible enough to say, I've consumed enough. Back away from the all media buffet. It can be done. We
Yes.
talked about this on Tuesday. Remember, I was saying about curating your feed. I don't watch the news. But it finds me. The news will
Right.
find you. Don't worry. You're not going to miss a thing. The
Not a
news will
thing.
find you. It will. You will step outside. Your neighbor will say something. You will pick up your phone, X or Threads or wherever you are. Facebook is going to tell you. Did you see this? They're going to tell you. So I don't actively search for it anymore. It's going to find me. But I also on Facebook and Instagram, I try to curate that so I don't see a lot of the negativity.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's what we have to do. I'm sorry. We don't live in the utopia Pollyanny world where everything is rainbows and lollipops. It's not that. So, but I feel like as a parent, I can make rainbows and lollipops for my kids if they're a certain age. They don't need to know about what's going on with the war and Hamas. They don't need to know that. I've seen lots of stories. How do you tell your kids about the Israel? I was like, why are you telling your kids? Why are they watching the news? They should be watching Paw Patrol or one of these, whatever the thing is that the popular show is. Why are your kids concerned about what's going on?
You know, here's the thing. I think there's a delicate balance because I do believe in raising children that have some sort of awareness outside of themselves and that understand that not everything is the way it is where you live.
Right.
That there
at a certain
are
age, though. I'm talking about like toddlers and things.
Oh yeah, well, don't be
School age is
explaining to
different.
right. School age, they definitely need to know, or even
Right.
really before school age. If you have a child that is really, you can see their aptitude is higher, then I think it's okay to go ahead and in a child's way, than the way a child would understand, explain that whole thing, because conflict is part of life and you can actually make conflict something that children will understand, and conflict resolution, which is the bigger part of that, how to deal with that. And that these grown-ups are bad examples of conflict resolution.
They are.
You know,
they don't know how to play together.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We're doing a better job, Johnny, than they are.
But what I'm talking about is on the news, they were talking about toddler age. I'm like, there are programs and educational things directed towards those kids that can teach them what you're saying about conflict resolution and stuff, not on an adult level. They're trying to say, oh, you should explain it. No, they should be watching whatever conflict resolution thing that goes on in Paw Patrol, because those kind of stories and Peppa Pig, and I'm trying to think of the names, they all
Sesame
have
Street.
built into the story, how to deal with sharing and how to deal right, Carolina.
Yes.
Got
A 3-year-old
young-
in the house.
yeah,
Yeah.
a
We're
granddaughter.
not watching all of that wonderfulness. Not, yeah. And Coco Melon and different things. And they talk about how
Right.
to
There's
interact.
another one, Octo something.
Sesame Street is still on.
Yes,
Listen,
Yeah.
Sesame Street is the OG of that. I remember very well.
about conflict resolution. They don't need to see what's on the nightly news.
Exactly. I mean, and to your point, not to go down this rabbit hole, but we're here, whatever. To your point, Sesame Street, as I was saying, is the OG when it comes to those types of things.
Yeah.
And I remember very well when I was little. Remember one of the original cast members who played Mr. Hooper? He died. And then he died in real life, and so they had him die on the show.
Right.
So it's like, it's that same type of thing. How do you handle that? And Big Bird was really sad, and Big Bird is actually supposed to be like 3, so that's like toddler age, and it really was a wonderful demonstration of how you handle. I was like, he died for real? Because usually on kids television shows, they'll just find a way to, he moved away, or
right,
whatever.
They say it, yeah. But I mean, I'm addressing that. I watched something on the morning, one of the morning news shows. How do you talk to your children, your toddlers about?
They had a whole episode with the psychologist. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Not for toddlers.
They should be watching other things for conflict resolution, about sharing toys and saying no. They have content for that.
Or how about go outside? I mean,
that
part.
That too.
Right there. Go outside and play.
And they're saying because the parents were so worried and watching. Well, first of all, the parents shouldn't be watching it. Like I said, the news will follow you. I know everything I need to know. I don't watch the news because it will find you, and then you consume it.
Listen here. Even if you're watching the news, do you have to watch it for hours and hours?
That's what I'm talking about. There are people that they can't stop themselves from watching it. There's people that can't stop themselves from watching it, because I see people like, oh, it's World War III is coming. I'm like, what are you people online talking about? Because they're consuming the media news. So that's what they're being fed. I'm like, I'm not being fed that.
And because the news cycle, if people did not know, they run one story about 10 times I was like, didn't we just hear this? I'm out.
Yes.
But we also have to remember that the news is about ratings. Yes, it is a public service, but they only exist because of ratings. And news rooms generally, and I mean, I've sat in newsrooms before, and they do a morning meeting and an afternoon meeting to determine what stories are going to go on. Now, there's way more that happens in the world than they actually have airtime for. So they sit and decide, all right, well, we're not going to do this story will do. We're not going to do this story will do. They also, as stations, they're all competing with each other. And so if station X is doing a whole news cycle and specials on the war in, I was about to say the war in Iraq. That's not it. The war in the Middle East, in Israel, then everybody else will do it because they don't want to be left out of the ratings game. Ratings equals advertising dollars. And whoever has the highest ratings, the most watched, is going to be more than likely to get those advertising dollars. So I think we have to look at it in perspective and put everything in perspective that, it's about informing you, but it's also about who can get most of those advertising dollars. So let's not forget that our eyes are being used as a conduit to that money.
Yeah, right. I agree.
So, because we're still in tech that is making history, we talked about what was happening.
Oh, whoops.
Oh no, this is good. This is because this all came about because the parents were tripping out about Meta and Meta being blamed
Mm-hmm.
for.
Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of states suing Meta, and here's what
Yeah,
I'll say about that: these states, they're going to sue Meta. Meta's going to go to court. How much do you want? Here's your money. Go away. That's what's going to happen. So I didn't even pay attention to it.
right.
So what the states should do for is that Meta money should go specifically to the school system for wellness programs. I don't know
You
if they're
think
going
this
to
will
do
happen?
it, but that's what they should do. But Meta's going to pay the money, and it's all going to go away. So I don't know what the big fuss is about. This Meta's just going to pay money to the states, pay the fine. That's what they do, and they're going to go about doing. And they're going to say, "Oh, we're going to implement more parent controls or more this." But they're going to pay the fine to the states, whatever. It's a bunch of states, and they're going to get their money, and the state's going to be happy, and they're going to shut up. That money should go into the school system, but it will not.
It's not.
It's not. It should, but it's not.
It's
So
not.
that's what's going
Yeah,
to happen with that.
yeah. Well, they tried that with our schools win too when they were trying to bring the lottery in.
Oh,
They gave
Lord.
us that whole
It's going to the school.
that old hook, that whole bait and switch.
It's going to the school system.
Yeah, right. We don't see that commercial anymore.
America should be ashamed. I have never.
It
I'm
should.
honestly,
It should.
and we wonder why we slip behind the rest of the world. Why people that could come from war-torn countries now will come here as refugees, and the children will swim circles around you because there is not an emphasis on education here. Primary and secondary education, there needs to be that emphasis there. And so they should really be ashamed that they are not putting more money in the system. How can you call yourself a quote unquote industrialized country and you have a bunch of stupid puffalumps walking around because the school system is terrible?
It's all talk. Look, we can't even get a good speaker in the house.
What?
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
So we can't even get that. And so until things settle down, until the house, we have the election next year, things are going to be like that. I just look at it and laugh. I'm like, the government can't even get themselves together. So how is everybody else going to get themselves together?
But on an individual basis, we will get ourselves together.
Individually, yes, individually. Because I've always said, I said this when that man was elected. I said the president doesn't determine your daily life. Who the president is, and I'm gonna dig that up, does not determine your daily life. You do, and your local environment, your local government. Be concerned about that. Yes, we should vote. Yes. I'm not saying we should ignore it. I'm saying it does not affect your daily life.
But you know what the thing is? I'm sorry to interrupt. All those things are distractions, to be honest.
Yes.
Because when we look at it, like you said, your local environment and your local elected officials are really the ones who determine all of these types of things.
Yeah.
But we put so much emphasis on the presidential election that people don't. So everybody may turn out in droves to vote for who they want to, especially if they don't like who's in office. They'll turn out in droves, but then forget that judges are elected, and those are the people in your local jurisdiction that actually make the difference. If you don't like what's happening, remember there's a judicial system that's local that you can vote for. How many people actually know? To be honest, I'm guilty of this because I so abhor the local politics here because it's just trash.
Yeah.
As it is in most. So I don't even pay attention. So then when the ballot comes, I'm like, who the hell is this? Right? I don't know half of these people running. So then I have to sit down and I honestly, because I'm not going to vote for somebody I don't know for, I go to the internet and it takes me forever to sit and go through everybody and see who they are. I'm like, where did they work? It's a lot of work. And that's why people don't vote, because nobody wants to be held responsible for voting in somebody that is awful because they didn't do their research or due diligence. But this takes work because it takes me several hours to go through. And sometimes it's like, damn it, well why even vote, right? Because of the work that's involved.
Right.
But it's important.
See, I don't know about other places, but here in New York City, every time there's an election, they send out big, thick books of what's being on the ballot, who this person is, and it comes, and ignored it until it's like, okay, it's time to vote. Let me get that book out and start looking at who it is and what have you. So I know they don't do that a lot of places. Like you said, you got to go on the internet and find it. Thank God it's on the internet, but that's what we get. We get all kind of things in the mail. You know, the election is this and this, and here it is, and the judges and the thing. So a lot of what's coming out now, I like what you said about judges. A lot of people are paying attention to that. That they're seeing that the elected judges are important. Ooh, who didn't know that? A lot of people didn't know that before this, but now you see because of that man and all the talk about judges and this and that, like, oh, okay. Who the party that elected all these judges, now they're all coming into play and coming into with 45 about who was elected and who's going to vote for him and who's going to do what for him. It was all set up for that. But now it's not working the way they wanted. But I don't want to get off of what we're talking about. But
this is good though, because we are letting people who are watching know the importance of not just voting, because everybody should vote, but like Dr. Tachi said, you need to do your research.
Yeah.
And here in California, we get the paper too. We still get the little book, and we sit down and we go through.
Tell you the amendments and what's up and
what they stand for,
yeah,
what they're against, or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of people throw that out or ignore it, but
right,
and a lot of places aren't getting that information, and a lot of places are making it harder for people to vote. Period. So
right, and
there's a lot going on.
So you still are not out of the woodwork if you don't get the document. You do like Dr. Tachi said, and you go online, look the person up, and find out about them, because it's online somewhere.
Right. And it's just doing like you're very lucky. New York City, there's a lot. So of course. I mean,
and it comes in different, there's like 50 languages. Everything here, if it's citywide, is printed in every language.
Every language, which is perfect.
I just went through jury duty, and they the things they go through. Is anybody here who doesn't understand English? Does anybody here need an interpreter? They drill that into. It's like, if you don't know English, tell us now. Tell us now, because we can, either you make accommodations, you get your interpreter, So I know a lot of places aren't like that, but that's one thing about here, that there is a program somewhere for you, in whatever language you need is there.
So here they have it in Spanish, of course, English, and Creole, Haitian Creole. So those are the three languages that you'll find on the ballot and on the things. Like, those are the only groups that are here. There are more, but those are the predominant groups. So I guess that's what they did. But I mean, I think this is all important, and it all ties into because that also determines technology for your cities. That also encourages media for your cities and what's covered, all these types of things. So it's not politics and politricks rather are not separate from all of this, because when we talk about looking at different cities, and we were talking about being technologically advanced, I would love to have access to a train system that you can just basically go anywhere, right? And I don't mean not like the our cockamamie Tri-Rail and whatever systems they have in Miami. I mean, like a train system that will actually take you someplace. Now I know with Brightline, they're actually trying to do that, but all you have to do is look in Japan. All you have to do is look in different countries, and it's like Japan, especially, it's like, you live in Tokyo. Oh, you're trying to go to Kyoto? All right, we'll get on the train. That an infrastructure that is so well crafted. That's technology. And if you don't vote for the right people that are interested in improving the technological advancements in your transportation system in your city, it's curtains. You'll be taking that same 1973 bus forever.
Yeah, because that has happened here. How many times have we voted for the train, Terry, from Northern Cal to Southern Cal, and we still ain't got that train?
It's all politics and money.
And
one
industry
trying to keep the other industry from it's just crazy, and nobody is for the people. That's the problem.
I was like, wait, because it solves a lot of problem, but they're not doing that. So to continue on, Terry, are you still not talking about X?
Not talking about X.
Okay, so I'll have to do this because Terry TJ is not talking about X. So
They're gonna be gone.
it is the anniversary of. Has it been a year already?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say there's been a year since Elon Musk bought.
Okay, so
Twitter.
I'll let you go ahead and do that because there's some stats.
Well, no, I was just gonna mention that. I'm not gonna talk about it, so we can talk about it now.
Oh, okay, so there are some stats.
0.
Oh, you mean the 500 million users they're bragging about?
No, here's how year one of Musk has impacted site engagement. And this is from Morning Brew. Global app downloads fell 38% from October 22 to September 2023, according to the data from Sensor Tower. The Twitter to X rebrand was a major culprit per intelligence provided by Apptopia. Monthly active users fell 14.8%, according to SimilarWeb. And Sensor Tower reported that users spend an average of 2% less time on X, although Apptopia found that active users have increased their screen time this year. US ad revenue, has dropped by 60%. Musk, who was forced into buying the platform after he attempted to back out, admitted last month. And what is responsible? The rise in hate speech, misinformation, and glitches under his leadership likely contributed to the declining interest. The rebrand and confusion around changes to the blue check mark probably didn't help either. And it could be worse. X is still running faster than Threads, which only had 10 million daily active mobile users last month, to X's 183 million per Sensor Tower. Okay, so now you don't have to talk about it, TJ.
No, I will. I had a couple things.
Okay.
Twitter, I call it Twitter. I'm calling it X. Twitter gonna be bankrupt. They running out of money. They are running out of money. They will run out of money. Musk is not gonna put more money into this. The bankers that went into this to buy it are like, we sunk all this money in it. We can never recoup what we put into it. And this constant comparison with Threads and Meta playing the long game. Meta got money, so they can just sit around, and 10 million users is fine. And then they're going to slow and steady grow Threads. It's going to be like this. Threads is like this, and X is going to be like that. And the people from X, and this, I talked about this last year, the people from X don't know where to go, but now they have a place to go. It's not the same place as Twitter was. It's not that great place, but Threads is trying to say, hey, Meta is trying to say, hey, come on over to Threads, because we don't have the king size, King California, but we got a king bed. We don't have this, but we got that. So because they're constantly pulling on. Then they added some things this week, so they are not in a rush.
Correct.
Meta's not in a rush. It's the tech journalists writing these stories about Threads and X's. That's them. Like Dr. Tati said, they're trying to get more ratings, more eyeballs, more people, more ad dollars for their whatever site they write for.
Exactly. And all of these are opinions of people what are they? Because you have some sites that talk about numbers in polls. And I'm like, okay, I've not heard of you. I've heard of I've heard of the apt one, but some of the other two I didn't hear about. I was like, okay, I don't know who Sensor Tower is. So
a lot of them have changed their name. There's one called App Annie, but they were something else. Like, they've been around for a while. They've changed the company has changed their name. So some of them that you're not familiar with, they just changed their name from when they were first started out. I'm trying to remember. There's a couple that did that changed their name. I know App Annie is one. And you know, they could have these polls and they could talk about this and that, but I tell you, this is how you tell an app is doing well or not. You go to the App Store, you look
And
at the top chart for free apps, you go to Google Play, you do the same thing. It will tell you the top 10, top 20. Threads is in the top 20. Threads is always in the top 20.
right.
Sometimes they're higher, sometimes they're lower,
And
but they're in the top 20.
and yeah, I'm just
So
saying they in
for an app
Threads
that's
and
dead, I don't see X there. X isn't there.
no,
So
and here's the thing. X and Twitter, I mean X and Threads are two different types. They're
right,
not the same.
right.
Okay.
So there's always this pitting one against another. I remember when Google Plus came out. Oh, it's the Facebook killer. Then it didn't kill Facebook. I like it was never supposed to be a Facebook killer. It was something different. But if you had used the app instead of listening to the talk, same thing with Snapchat. Snapchat been dead for 10 years. Snapchat this week released their best numbers ever.
Right.
So
it's yeah, so
I don't listen to the tech journalists when they do this. One is better than the other. I'm like, you just there's a narrative they put out and people run with it, and a lazy person that doesn't want to use the app goes with what they heard on the news.
on the news, right.
Mhm.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a moment for a quiz if you want to. This is a fun one, I think.
Yeah.
And then we will come back and Terry will jump in here with her stories because we just need to. What did we do when you're out eating between courses? We cleanse the palate. Okay. Okay, so let's try this quiz. I have not taken it, so let's see where we're going with it. All right. It says the weekly quiz, can you get a perfect score? We're going to write them down and we'll come back after everybody near the end and see who got what. Okay, here we go. Which automaker reached a tentative deal with the UAW this week? Is it Tesla, United Auto Workers? Is it Tesla, Stellantis, GM, or Ford? Terry, can you put some music on, please? Or TJ? Oh no, Terry, put some Jeopardy music on. Which automaker reached a tentative deal with the UAW this week? A is Tesla, B Stellantis, C GM, D and is Ford.
Are we supposed to put it in the chat?
You can put it in the chat or you can write it down and show us your answers when we come back. It's up to you. Because, like we can go show our answers. Ooh, I don't know this one because I don't read the news. Okay. I'm going to go with that one. So that's on question number 1. I put my answer. Ready for next? They want me to answer. Okay. What is the name of the new U.S. Speaker of the House? A. Mark Jones.
Now you know good and damn well we don't know, but go ahead.
I was gonna say
2. Mike Johnson. That's B. A. Mark Jones. B. Mike Johnson. C. Matt Jenkins. D. Martin Jennings. I don't know for some reason. Anyway. Woo! Okay. Question number 3. Which NBA team signed a jersey sponsorship deal with the company behind the Las Vegas Sphere? A. Brooklyn Nets. B. Los Angeles Lakers. C. New York Knicks. D. Oklahoma City Thunder.
They did not repeat that. They did what?
Which NBA team signed a jersey sponsorship deal with the company behind the Las Vegas Sphere? Oh, okay. I know what the Sphere is now. I had to. Okay. I'm gonna go there.
Is the fear a sphere a team?
Yeah, it's the WNBA.
No, the Sphere is a club in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
It's a building in Las Vegas.
Oh, the new new one that you
building we
can with the
showed
LED
couple-
like. Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking. All right. Yeah.
I was with you first,
What's the
TJ, when I was
question
like, what?
And that's new. So I was like, sphere. Okay.
What's the Sphere? Because I was like, I heard of the Las Vegas Aces, because that's the women's WNBA team.
Oh, I
but
know
was
what's
like,
something.
Okay. With Killers of the, this is question number 4. With Killers of the Flower Moon director, of course, with Killers of the Flower Moon, director Martin Scorsese posted his best opening weekend since which of his other films? A. Shutter Island. B. Wolf of Wall Street. C. Hugo. D. The Irishman.
No.
Question number 5. Britney Spears released her new memoir this week. What is it called? A. Toxic. B. The Woman in Me. C. Overprotected. D. My Life So Far. Okay, so let's see how we did. Do we want to answer now? Or we want to come back with the answers? Let's come back with the answers.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we will go over the answers probably after Dr. Tachi. Let's see, at the end of the program, we'll go see who got what right. All right, Terry, you have the floor. And I am done with tech making history.
You might want to switch off the music just in case.
Okay, hold on.
Are we still thinking of like, oh, we're still in tech trivia or something?
Okay, here's the deal. We are 52 minutes in. So in honor of my birthday month, I am going to yield the floor to Okay. So
TJ, you're up.
I'm ready. I'm ready. All right. So this week of social media news and updates, let's talk about Snapchat because we were just talking about them. They had an earnings call this week for Q3. Their performance update shows a steady increase in active users and a return to positive revenue growth. Their daily active user count rose to 460 million, up 12% year over year. This is the first time that Snap has eclipsed 400 million users. And so, like I said before, people were saying that Snap was dead and it's not dead. So there you have it. And then my thing is talking, so I don't know if you can hear it. Be quiet. You.
No, you couldn't hear it.
Okay. Yeah, it was. I think it's in. I can hear. Like, why is it talking? That's what it does when it thinks it hears something. Like, it's not smart. All right. There is a new app called Daily. DAYLYY. It's the anti-Instagram photo sharing app, has no vanity metrics, filters, or algorithm. Daily is a photo sharing social app where you can only snap photos in real time, preventing you from uploading filtered and augmented photos from your camera roll. So this is supposed to take the pressure off and you're supposed to present your authentic self. Does this sound like Be Real? Yes,
Yes, it does.
It's Be Real, except there's no I think Be Real is like they give you a time, like it pops up and everybody has to take their. No, this one is you just upload stuff whenever you want. So here's a quote from the co-founder. Daily is a true reflection of everyone's daily life. It's a real-time social media app. There's never going to be filters and you're not going to see any uploads. You also won't see things like vanity metrics or numbers, and most importantly, no algorithm. So that's what they're going on. So it also doesn't publicize your comments for others to see. Instead, you must directly message a mutual follower, encouraging a more personal connection with them. You also can't see how many people like a post. With Daily, there's no pressure to perform, so they're saying that none of that exists because you want to relieve the pressure. This was launched in 2022. The startup now has 47,000 users in more than 100 countries. So what are they doing about monetization? Because this is the key. Like an app survives on how it makes money. So here's the quote: "When we get to a certain user mark, bringing ads in on is the main way we'll go about monetization. The vision for the advertisement is the same as the people on Daily. What you see is what you get. They want businesses who advertise on the platform to take a picture of the product in real time, so they're on the same playing field as everyone else." So they're saying that if you come on as an advertiser, you can't make anything that's pre-made. Yeah.
So you
Jerry's
have to
face.
take pictures in the
Be
moment. Like
real.
you saw a squirrel. Ooh, there's a squirrel. You pop the picture and you put it
No
up. You get
filters.
no
No,
filters.
no editing. It must be in real time. So
How
a
would they know?
brand and a company is on social media to create a curated look for their product or service. So they're saying that you can't do that.
How would they know?
Exactly. This sounds like a good idea, but it's not because of monetization and who cares?
You know what I mean? I mean,
Oh, what is our little thing for that? Who asked for this?
yes.
For this. And to tell brands and businesses when you come on the app, you must not have anything that's curated or pre-done or set up, or it must be in real time. Who's monitoring that? So this is dumb. Daily. Goodbye.
Because I would like to have a place where you can post photos and just post a photo, but I can do that on Instagram. I can do that everywhere. But
But see, this Be Real thing, it doesn't work. TikTok put it in TikTok. It doesn't. TikTok took it off. It doesn't work. No one's talking about Be Real. So to go down this route of being authentic, no, you could do that on whatever social media platform you have now. You could do that. You can turn off
Do
comments
you
on
need an
Instagram.
app to be real?
All the things that they're talking about can be done in the apps today. You don't want comments, turn off comments. I think not Justin, what that Justin Timberlake turn off his comments, and Britney Spears turn off her comments because of the book. So you can post what you like. No one's putting pressure on you but you. So I don't understand this. This doesn't make sense. Goodbye. Daily or whatever it is.
okay,
All
Dr.
right.
Hunter, you using Daily?
I'm not using it. It's another app. I don't want to install that. All right, so let's talk about OpenAI. OpenAI forms a team to study catastrophic AI risks, including nuclear threats. They've created a team to assess, evaluate, and probe AI models to protect against what it describes as catastrophic risk. It's the team called Preparedness. Their chief responsibility will be tracking, forecasting, and protecting against the dangers of future AI systems, ranging from their ability to persuade and fool humans, like in phishing attacks, to the malicious code generating capability. So AI is making this team, and they're saying they want to be ready and look at any kind of risk actions that could take place with their tool. Also, remember, a lot of these AI companies, OpenAI, they're all in with the meetings with the government. I think they had one with Kamala. I think they had another one this week. So This comes out of, the concern for AI is going to take over our world and we're going to be slaves to the robots. So that's they're looking.
We
Yeah,
already
that's the
slaves to the
thing. Yeah,
robots, people.
yeah, that they can think and all that stuff. So they're working on it. Also, ChatGPT can now access the whole internet. We had this before. They had the ChatGPT with Bing integration. I believe it was made. They took it away because that option could bypass the paywall content. So they took it away. Now they brought it back, and now it is the feature that's in ChatGPT Plus, and you don't have to. You had to toggle it. Now you don't have to toggle it. So what this means is that ChatGPT is no longer limited to that September 2021 information limit. So they're now up to date using that option. All right, YouTube. Let's talk about YouTube. More generated AI generated stuff. So YouTube Music has a create custom AI generated playlist art. There's a new feature that lets users create customized playlist art using generative AI. This is an experimental feature rolling out today for English language users in the United States. They plan to test this in other regions and other languages in the future. So what you do is you click on the current default image of a playlist of yours, then you scroll through a number of themes, and they have travel, nature, landscape, fantasy, animals, and humor. After you select the theme, you scroll through a selection of prompts, and then you click the create button, and then you have a series of AI generated images that you can choose from, and you save it, and that's your playlist art. That's what's going on with YouTube. And Google. Let me do Amazon first because this is more generative AI stuff. Amazon has a new generative AI tool that lets advertisers enhance product images. That means that they can create product images with the text prompt instead of them having a photo shoot for the product. So what happens is what happens is Amazon is currently beta testing the tool with select advertisers, and they will expand usage over time. So it's a tool for advertisers to generate backgrounds based on product description and themes. You upload a photo, type in an image description describing the background, select the theme, and then you click generate. And then you can refine it based on the way that you create AI art and some of the other tools like Midjourney and DALL-E. So why is Amazon doing this? Because brands are beginning to look at generative AI to help simplify the process of creating an ad, which can be costly and time consuming. Yes, it can. So they're saying that large companies like Nestle and Unilever have admitted to using AI tools. So Amazon is getting into okay, well, if you're using it already, come with us. So that means spending money. So Amazon is doing that, and that's with ads. All right, back to Google. Google has announced tools to help users fact check images. Here we go with generative AI images is coming. There's more and more, and now it's getting to the point where these tools make images that you cannot tell that it's not real. And we talked about that, Carolina, you and I. So I'm just saying you won't be able to tell. So Google is saying they have a tool that will provide more contextual information about an image to prevent false information from spreading. So the tool includes viewing an image history, metadata, and the context users use it with on different sites. It's an option called About This Image. It's also into the Google Labs section, the testing part of it. So they're saying that they will have a three. I saw the little picture. It will have three dots, and you at the top of the menu, and then you tap the three dots, and it will tell you about this image, and it will let you know the metadata to see if it's AI generated. And I think I said this before that there was going to be something. I know OpenAI is working on stuff, but Google's also working on things so you'll know that it's AI generated. Either it'll be a watermark or Google is doing about this image So there's no watermark on it, but you can click the three dots and see what, what was it, a photograph by a human or was it AI? So the company, so they're saying Google says it marks all images created by Google AI. So they're saying also Adobe and Microsoft, Nikon, and Leica, Leica, released a symbol to clearly mark AI generated images. Okay, so that's what Google is working on. So there'll be things to tell you that this is AI and this is not AI, and because there's a demand for it, because people are being fooled, like that picture of the Pope
And the
earlier
puffy
this
coat.
year. And I was like, oh, look at the Pope wearing a puffer. But
Puffy
then
coat.
looking closely at it, I could tell, the shininess. There's something not quite right about it. Like there's no soul to it. But now the tools are making it to where that distinction for us humans, we can't discern it with the eye. So we're going to need the tool to tell us. That's where we're going, because, and also they're doing video, generative AI video. So really, we're getting into a place where we need to know. And we cannot
Exactly.
rely on people to mark themselves. I think Instagram has something, they want people to mark that. You have to mark it when you upload. People aren't going to do that. They're
Now
going
they
to
know
make the
good and damn well.
Yeah, they're gonna make the AI tool. They're gonna upload it. They're not gonna check, is this
They
AI?
want people to self-regulate.
Yeah.
When you said that, doesn't it even just sound comical?
I was like, you
Come on
crazy.
now.
You're going to have, and it gets down to the metadata. And I love that Google's at the forefront of this, because they're like, it's not about letting us do it. Oh, are you marking it AI? I think TikTok has this too, that you have to mark it. I'm like, no, you guys do it, because you can tell. There's metadata in there, and that's what Google's saying. There's metadata in the AI image that they'll instantly know that it's AI and won't be able to lie and let the human person that, they're gonna do it. They're gonna like, oh, this ain't AI. I took this picture and bloop. And AI, Google's like, nope, nope, we're not having that. So this is what's going on. Just be ready for things to be okay, either a watermark or a tool or something that tells you this is AI. Because I've seen it myself, just looking through what site did I go through? I think it was Free Pick, one of the image sites. And I was like, wait a minute, a lot of this isn't real. And I clicked on the image, like the information, and said AI generated. I was like, I knew it. But I'm just like, it should be more upfront. Like when I look at the photo, there should be a mark there, but it's no mark. Because the people don't look real. They look like, yes, that's a woman sitting at a computer or whatever. I was like, uh, something is telling me that's not real. And I clicked on the information and it was like generative AI. So you're trying to fool people. So a lot of people aren't going to care to look at it and say and ask themselves. They're just going to instantly, because it's visual, they're instantly going to connect with it. That's how we are as humans. It's visual, we're instantly going to connect with it and not question it. But some of us are questioning it. But now we don't have to do that, to make it simple. We don't have to think about it. Google's going to do it for us. All right, so there's a lot of stuff about AI. One thing in Fran sent me, I think, did you send me this week, Fran, about the Pebble?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah. So the startup Pebble, which was T2, which was a Twitter alternative started by someone who worked at Twitter, they're shutting down. They're saying they've run out of time to make Pebble happen. The app maxed out at 3,000 daily active users out of 20,000 registered users. The daily user figure fell to 1,000 daily users when it rebranded from T2 to Pebble. So I signed up for T2. You changed it to Pebble. I don't know what's going on. And I remember signing up and I went back to look at it as Pebble. I was like, well, it looks clean and nice and everything, but it's like you have to know you have to know what you're doing. So these people had a good idea, but the follow through wasn't there. So they're shutting down. Here's a quote from one of the co-founders said, I think the competitive landscape evolved faster than we thought. I didn't think that quite as many people would try to do the same thing that we were doing in very similar ways. So they thought they were special and unique. And I'm like, no, you're not, because there's a whole bunch of other things out there. So they have shut down. Oh yeah, they're saying Twitter is you have real people saying real things at the expense of using a word that's overused, authentic. And our theory was always, if you can create a space where people feel really like they can let down their hair, then you would get that authentic content. We didn't quite get there. So I'm saying this because, and this is the thing, whenever there's election, they always ask people before they go in, oh, I'm voting this and that and that. And when they get in there, it's a whole nother ball of wax. Oh, I'm voting for so and so. I'm doing this or I'm doing that. But when they get into the poll and they mark their ballot, it's a different thing. So this is what it is about. They want safe people. People say, I want safe spaces from Twitter. Twitter's a horrible place to be. Yes, it is. And it's full of hate speech and that. And they go, well, we want someplace safe and rainbows and lollipops. And then you give it to them, this T2, the Pebble, they don't want it because it's not really what they want. They say they want this. What they really want is they want Twitter, but they don't want the hate speech and the ugly people there. Which, yes, that's good. But when you do that,
why didn't you give balloons? Happy birthday!
What's going on with the balloons?
Did you?
This is
Who
another
set the balloons up? Happy birthday, Terry!
Thank you, darling.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We got new tricks going on in the yard.
Oh wow! Happy birthday!
Thank you. Well, the deal is over there on people letting their hair down. Some of them need a haircut. they do way too much over there.
Yes. Okay, I'm intrigued. How did you do that?
Yeah, they want everybody's haircut but theirs. So thank you for the birthday wishes, ladies.
All right. Okay, where did the balloons come from?
I have no idea. Someone sent them.
So here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed this before on who was it on Pat Murray's live. When you make certain gestures, things will come up. But I don't know. Somebody else may know. Is it an iPhone thing? Is it something related to StreamYard? Because all the times I've seen this, it has been with somebody using StreamYard. So I'm like, what is it related to? Is it the actual phone? Is it what is it?
I'm not sure.
Because I'm looking over here like, wait, what happened? Because I know that they said something about reactions, that they were going to be putting reactions in. I just don't know where they put them.
Exactly, because I'm like, I don't see anything either.
But it's when you make certain hand gestures, like I don't know if you make a heart, like
Can we make a heart? Oh
yeah, there you go. See,
Okay, so where'd the balloons come from?
Where are mine? What
I don't know. If you put two thumbs up, you should get thumbs up.
I did do that.
Well, or you get something like that.
How you get sparkles and crap going on?
All I do is put my thumbs up. I don't know.
Hello.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Not doing it for me.
Because your thumbs look broken.
Go up a little higher, TJ.
Maybe you're not holding it there long enough.
Higher.
Hold
them
them
up higher
together
and go closer to the camera.
Keep them there for a minute. Keep it like that.
Now jump up and down.
Higher.
I'm done. I've seen it. I'm done.
Okay, how do we get balloons?
I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm thinking, what the heck is going on?
I thought somebody sent them. I must have done something. I don't know.
There must be some. So now we know it's emanating from StreamYard, but there must be some. there must be something in a blog post
TJ,
or
you're
something.
scaring
Well,
me.
okay, so Dr. Tati is right. Now, remember, StreamYard does the live thing every on YouTube every Sunday or something. I always try to watch it and I forget. So StreamYard has told us. It's just we haven't paid attention.
We haven't been going to class.
We haven't gone to class. So
So
I'm
we
gonna
got
go check out their YouTube. It's probably over there.
Yes.
the heart's work.
Okay. And evidently, so do the thumbs.
I'm sorry. It doesn't like
TJ,
I
TJ,
can talk.
I just feel sorry for you. I'm sorry.
And I'm
Done.
trying to.
I'm
Well,
done.
we have a comment.
I want something to happen.
Mark said you've been sipping. Mark said y'all been sipping the sauce before 5. We trying to figure out how the balloons is getting
We
up
had
in here.
No, no, Mark, that's you. You see something on the screen. You've been sipping sauce.
What other hand gestures are there?
We're gonna have to
I
go
don't
to
know.
StreamYard and
So I
see.
remember seeing a thumbs up, like come across the screen, but I don't remember what the hand gesture
Like
was
my
for it.
thumbs.
I remember seeing the fireworks and then the
Mhm.
hearts. But yeah, I don't know. You know what? As we're going through, maybe I can find some info.
Okay.
Because that
All right.
was interesting. I'm like, where the balloons come from?
I was like, am
I
I
don't know.
seeing
Is it because we said happy birthday? Is it audio? I don't know.
Audio kicked off.
We said happy birthday, Carolina.
Thank you.
And
But
I'm not sure
I don't
how
know
that
how it
came
happened.
about.
Thank you, TJ.
I'm telling you because it's not working for me. Okay, so I'm gonna get what the Dr. Tati's investigative background. I'll get back to these updates. So we got something from TikTok. TikTok is partnered with tickets.com to sell tickets for its first live music event. They have announced its first live global music event in the mix. So they will partner with ticketing technology company tickets.com to help with ticket sales for the event. Tickets
Mhm.
will be available through TikTok's new website, TikTokinthemix.com. The pre-sale starts on October 27th. General sale beginning on November 2nd. Prices range from $25 to $60 for the tickets. And also, TikTok has scored a Disney deal, and Disney is doing this. What is the 100-year anniversary?
Mhm.
So, they have okay, wait a minute. Oh, they will see TikTok offering Disney a dedicated destination within the app where Disney fans can watch videos from Disney brands, create their own with Disney music and special effects, play Disney themed trivia, and collect character cards of their favorite players. So this content hub, they're saying that this Disney partnership with TikTok, and it's it's for Disney fans. Um,
Mm.
yeah, here's the quote. TikTok has become a go-to destination for Disney fans to create, engage, and connect around their favorite Disney films, shows, characters, and experiences. So we're thrilled to partner with them as we celebrate the 100th anniversary of Disney. So that is what's going on with TikTok and Disney. And let's get into Instagram and then we'll be done. Instagram is testing a dedicated feed for posts from verified users. So it's a feed that will only display posts from Meta verified and legacy verified users. The toggle will appear under the following and favorites option listed when you go into the Instagram app under the logo. And you can switch your feed that way. So here's the quote. We're testing a way for people to explore their Instagram feed and reels by toggling to only Meta verified accounts. We're exploring this as a new control for people and as a way for businesses and creators to get discovered. All right, so that is it for Instagram. Facebook has more. This is more generative AI. You can create a generative AI profile picture on Facebook. You could generate a Facebook profile picture with AI. So they're testing an option which would let you generate this in stream. So instead of you uploading a photo, you could use AI to create one. And also Meta is oh yeah, okay. So that's the same thing. So there, Meta's been doing a lot of stuff with avatars. and AI avatars, so you don't have to show your real face. And also, Meta announces the removal of rooms in Facebook groups. So, starting from November 10th, you won't be able to create a room in a group. Starting from November 16th, you won't be able to access any existing rooms in your group. So they're telling group admins that rooms in Facebook groups will be gone as of next month. Now, group rooms, which were created to enable users to create video chats with up to 50 members, they were launched in April 2020 because of COVID. So this gave people a way to connect without being face to face, and
Without doing
worry about
Zoom.
COVID. Right. And Threads. Threads has polls and GIFs or GIFs, however you want to call it. So you can add a poll to your Threads post. You can respond and comment with GIFs. They're saying polls will run for 24 hours, and you can control who can respond to the poll. The same way you can control who replies to a post. These features are now on the Threads mobile app, but not yet on the web. So they are testing a lot of things. Also, they are testing view counts and pinning posts or replies to your profile. So here's the quote: "View counts are interesting as on Facebook today. We will probably have them. They will give people a better sense of their reach, and generally, more feedback is a good thing." So that is the CEO of Instagram saying all of these great things they're bringing to Threads, and that's why I said Threads is going to be this. They're playing the long game. They're not. They're the tortoise. They're just like, okay, we're good because we know we've got people that will come over to Threads because they're interacting Facebook and Instagram and Threads and possibly WhatsApp together. Remember, Facebook has a world and everything interacts. So Threads isn't going anywhere. And that is your social media news and updates for the week.
I'm looking for applause now.
There's lots more, but we gotta. I'm not even. I'm
So
Look at
I'm
them.
done.
we are sending love your way.
Camera.
Look at them.
I'll give up. Don't work for me.
Mark has a comment. Did
Okay.
we? He says view counts. Let's amplify your humiliation by reminding you that you are streaming into the void. You're
Or
welcome.
screaming
It's
into the void.
for some reason people on Threads screaming and hollering for these things, and I'm like, why? You're here talking to each other. Now the view counts. Now I like the polls, I like the threads. I'm waiting for trending topics. I like the pinning. You can pin something to the top. That's wonderful. But why do you need the view counts? I agree with Mark.
Mm.
Does that help you?
Just put it out there because you had a thought that you wanted to put out. And if
Empty
somebody
vanity
agrees,
metrics.
right, it's like, okay, you put it out there, put it out.
The only reason why I think they put this in is for influencers to say when they want to get a brand deal. Oh, look at my post. I got 1,000 views on this. Because Twitter has that. When you go to Twitter, you get to see like the views or the hearts and things. The number is next to it. So I
Okay,
think they're doing
whatever.
that for influencers, but we'll see.
Okay. Dr. T. Dr. Chachi.
Hello, everyone. Well, this has been a very hefty week for me. Let me not just say this week alone. Every week there seems to be a lot happening, but this week seems to be very chock full of things. But as I always do, how is everyone doing?
Good. We're doing
All is
well.
well.
Good. All right. Well, we have to say rest well. For those you probably already know that Richard Roundtree, the star of Shaft and Roots, passed away this week at the age of 81. He actually had pancreatic cancer, so he succumbed to the short battle. According to the rap, and his family was by his side when he passed away. His agency, Artists and Partners, confirmed his passing and said this: Artists and Representatives Agency mourns the loss of our friend and client Richard Roundtree. His trailblazing career changed the face of entertainment around the globe, and his enduring legacy will be felt for generations to come. Our hearts are with his family and loved ones during this difficult time. So, of course, you know, he was in all of the Shaft movies, including the original Shaft in 1971 to 1972. Then came Shaft's Big Score, and in 73, Shaft in Africa. There was also a short lived Shaft the series. I always wanted to say the animated series, but it was just a series, Shaft the series. Um, and I think it was only for one season. And then, of course, he was in Roots. He was in Man Friday, which co starred Peter O'Toole. There are just so many different things that he was in. So you will be missed. Well done, sir. Moving on, let's talk about SAG-AFTRA. They're still on strike. Okay,
Mm.
there's still, this is over 100 days now that they've been on strike, and I want to go back. I talked about this on Wednesday on Mediascope. There was a basically the whole reason that they went back to the negotiation table with AMPTP on Wednesday was because of a pressure campaign by A-list actors that includes Ben Affleck, Jennifer Aniston, and George Clooney among them, that basically they lobbied to get back to the deal making. And there was a call between Bob Iger from Disney and Duncan Crabtree Ireland. Um, and then they broke that impasse. And yeah, it's very, very interesting because negotiations had broken down. They're like, well, okay, back to the picket line. And that campaign from the A-list actors basically had them come back to the negotiation table. Now, this was just Wednesday. Still not sure exactly what the outcome of this is going to be, but um, here's the thing: SAG-AFTRA members said this, and this is according to Variety just yesterday. More than 3,600 of them have signed an open letter stating that they would rather stay on strike than to cave to a bad deal. So this group in SAG-AFTRA, they're calling themselves Members in Solidarity. This includes Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and we know her from Seinfeld, Veep, etc., John Hamm, Maya Hawke, Marissa Tomei, John Leguizamo, and Bryan Cranston, amongst other notable names. So this expresses support, rather, for SAG-AFTRA Negotiation Committee and says that it's speaking for the majority of the Guild, who are, quote, still standing in solidarity, ready to strike as long as it takes, and to endure whatever we must in order to win a deal that is worthy of our collective sacrifice. So they have now been on strike for 106 days. This has shut down almost all scripted film and television production in North America. The letter says this also: we have not come this way to cave now. We have not gone without work, without pay, and walked picket lines for months just to give up on everything we've been fighting for. We cannot and will not accept a contract that fails to address the vital and existential problems that we all need fixed. So this is coming at an interesting time because, as you can imagine, the members of SAG-AFTRA are really starting to grow restless. It's of course, people want to get back to work, but then you want to get back to work because you need to get paid. And as we said before, 80% of SAG-AFTRA members, and SAG-AFTRA does not cover all actors that are in the industry, right? It's only a segment of actors. And so 80% make $26,000 a year or less, right? So that tells you that it's only the top 20% who may come out okay of this. It's the majority of SAG-AFTRA members that are going to be hurt by this. So going back to the whole A-lister proposal, they presented some alternative proposals that they would help break this stalemate. So Yeah, this is the thing. So the letter also says that in any union, there will always be a minority who are not willing to make temporary sacrifices for the greater good. Among the signers is also Gabrielle Carteris, and Gabrielle Carteris was the immediate past president of SAG. Who, if you don't know who she is, she played Andrea in 90210. And she's also probably done some other things, but I don't know what else she's done. But I remember her from 90210 and
Is
playing.
anybody holding out who is from this decade?
You mean
These holdouts, they just sound like I'm hearing Seinfeld. I'm hearing 90210.
oh,
What was that, the 80s? I don't know.
well, those are here's the thing. The people that are, the A-list actors that are okay, well, yeah, you're hearing 90210 and Seinfeld and things, but some of these actors still hold weight. And Gabrielle Cartera, she was the immediate past president, so
Yeah.
obviously she holds a little bit of weight. George Clooney is an international superstar. I think the thing is, once you've reached a level where you're an A-list actor, it's less about what you've done. At some point, that's what it feels like. And so they still hold, the power. So the people that are current now may not have enough of a library or a list to really speak intelligently on this. So that's why you have some of the veterans that have been in the game for a while that are really taking up the cause, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's what's
Uh-huh.
happening there. Still waiting, but this is interesting. So Fran Drescher obviously is the president of the, well, not obviously, but if you don't know, she is the president of SAG-AFTRA right now, and this is an interesting story that she's been taking a Jellycat heart plushie to the SAG-AFTRA negotiations all the time. So I don't know if it's an emotional support stuffed thing. It's a cream colored heart, and it's a plushie basically. So she takes that all the time, and it's really been, according to Variety, stealing the show. She's been coming to the table for weeks armed with this heart-shaped stuffed animal, and whether it's an emotional support tool or a bargaining tactic depends on who you ask, I guess. So yeah, so she's been carrying this around, and though this should not be taking attention away from the negotiations at hand, it's something that people seem to be interested in. So,
Mark has a comment here. He
yes.
says this is a big win for plastic surgeons. By the time that the series actors go back to work, they'll need help looking the same age for continuity.
Exactly.
Well stated.
Exactly. Well, we hope that it won't be that long, but it's interesting because I've been doing conversations almost every week with a friend of mine who is a member of SAG-AFTRA, and he gets the letters. They get sent letters from SAG-AFTRA when you're a member as to the updates and what's happening. You can also check SAG's social media channels and also the website that gives you updates if you are interested. And he's been, basically saying the the you trying to get some more signs, Francine?
Yeah, I figured I'd try it, but
Why not? Sorry, it's not working, and I haven't found anything yet either.
I
So,
put it in the chat, private chat over there. We'll talk about it later.
oh, okay, great. All right, so now let's head over to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Guess what? It's a series in development at Amazon MGM Studios, and it sets Vina Sud as the showrunner. Now, when you're going to be able to do anything about this, I don't know, because people are still on strike. And this is the interesting thing. My friend told me that if that he's been made aware that if they don't come up, if the studios and SAG don't come to an agreement by December, that they'll pick it up next year. So we were saying, I told you they're not going to do anything till next year. So please don't expect to see any of your favorite shows back in production until next year. It's basically November now. They're going to break for the holidays. So forget it, basically. So even if they do come to an agreement, nothing is still really going to happen. The holidays are fast approaching. So, But back to the girl with the dragon tattoo, the series is in the works, and it actually was in development since May 2020, but there was no showrunner attached at the time, and it was supposed to be a new standalone series about one of the novel's main characters, Lisbeth Salander, but the current plot is under wraps, so we don't know what it is. Amazon MGM Studios rather, is going to produce this along with Left Bank Pictures, which is based at Sony Pictures Television. Interesting. So, have any of you seen, or have you watched The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo? I know about it, but I never watched the film.
I watched the I think it was on Netflix or something, the movie.
Yeah, the movie, but
I didn't think it needed to continue.
Okay, well then my second question is null and void. Will that make you watch the series?
I mean, it's kind of like she's the spy, that goes in to solve problems for other people type of thing. Anyway.
Okay, well, it doesn't sound like anybody's too interested in that. But if anybody watching is interested, there is a Girl with a Dragon Tattoo series in development at Amazon MGM Studios. Watch at your own risk. I don't know why I said that, but All right, well, let's go on to something a little more bubbly and pink. Barbie has debuted atop the DVD and Blu-ray sales charts. And as you know, this is Warner Brothers production. But Warner Brothers Discovery's Home Entertainment's Barbie debuted at #1 on the Circana Video Scan First Alert chart, which combines the tracking of DVDs and Blu-ray disc unit sales. And it's funny, you think that nobody, but no, people still do, apparently. People still do. And I think part of that is due to the fact that with streaming, you don't really own anything. Even if you download it, you own it, but it's still air, right? It's still digital air. This is a hard copy of something.
Okay.
And I think that people are nostalgic for that. Sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
nothing. I put something, finally got the right thing in the chat.
Oh, okay.
So go ahead, Dr. Tachi. What we?
Yes. So, yeah, they are on top of the charts. They are the top performing DVD and Blu-ray of the week. So the previous week's seller was Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. It's now slipped to #2, and on both the overall Blu-ray charts. And they sold half as many copies in the second week as Barbie did in the first. So if you're wondering who's on top for Blu-ray and DVD sales, which I'm sure nobody was, because we're all surprised they're still selling like that, Barbie is on top of that. So the momentum keeps going. And again, I'm still really, I've heard from people, has anybody here seen Barbie?
Nope.
I'm waiting for it to hit on wherever it's going to hit, Netflix or something.
Which it will. I can't remember the date, but it is supposed to. Or is it now? Wow, you all are having a ball with these these reactions. Good for you. So Terralina was thumbs down to that, which means no. I can't remember the exact date, but it is or is it out now? I need to do a research because it's either out now or coming very soon to stream. It is okay. You can, I think, watch it on Amazon Prime, but you have to pay for it. So you can rent it and pay for it. So yes, that's there. But as far as it coming to streaming, like as part of the repertoire of a streamer, no, not yet. But that should be coming soon. It typically takes about 3 months before we see that.
We're laughing at Mark.
Mark is like, nurse, it's time for Terralina's medication.
For my medication.
Yeah, no, Mark, you're straight on the money. So anyway, that's what's happening in Blu-ray DVD sales. And so none of you have seen Barbie.
Nope.
Are you interested in seeing Barbie?
No,
Okay.
Only way I want to watch Barbie is when it streams.
When it streams,
I'm
exactly.
not even gonna do that.
I just
I don't
no.
care.
It has to. Okay, the storyline has to be good. You know what? Okay.
And they tell me the storyline is very confusing. The people who've
My
Oh.
seen
thing
it,
is, I don't like overly hyped anything, and to me, Barbie was like, oh, it's the most wonderful thing ever. I'm like, no, I can tell from the trailer. I don't. I'm waiting on The Color Purple. Honestly,
Right. And you know, the thing is, from the trailer, like I was not compelled from the Barbie trailer. And then I
the
just said, well,
movie.
maybe I am not the target audience for this.
exactly.
And
One,
that's
I'm not
fine.
going in the movie theater. Two, it has to be a good movie. Three, I'm waiting on The Color Purple.
Yeah, okay. All things hinge and all roads lead to the color purple. Okay. I get it.
And the Barbie marketing turned me off because I think it was overhyped. Okay, for me in marketing world, they were like, this was the greatest marketing campaign ever. And I was like, no, it's not. Y'all just overhyping this movie for nothing.
Yeah, but you know,
No.
overhyped is good marketing.
Listen, I have a Barbie Malibu beach house in my garage for my children who won't come get their stuff, and I'm still not doing the movie.
No, it went over with the push.
Well, okay, they was just hyping that up. Just and they
This hype,
won.
this
They
overhype in this Barbie movie.
It didn't overhype. Evidently, it worked.
it did. That's what I'm saying.
It
They
worked
made
for the
some
target
money.
audience. It worked for the target audience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
and
made
and
some
they
Yeah,
good
not
money.
there's a lot of people that's not target audience. It didn't work with them. So.
right.
Exactly, and I'm not mad at them. I'm just saying
Yeah.
I just wasn't
Oh,
the one.
I am
Yeah.
not mad at them at all, but I have to look at this as well. And I ask this question, and some people are like, oh, no, but I'm like, okay, well, what really else was there out there? Oppenheimer and Barbie were the two blockbusters of the summer. What
So
else?
if it was going to be between Oppenheimer and Barbie, Barbie was going to win.
Yeah, exactly. Because
And
of the time
Barbie is
frame.
known for her merchandise anyway. I mean, everybody's gonna be what? Who are they gonna be this Halloween?
They're going to
There
be
was a lot
Barbie.
of backlash. A lot of the soccer moms were mad because it was a lot of adult themes in it, and they thought it was
Mhm.
going to be Barbie.
Well, it was Barbie, but it
Five-year-olds.
wasn't for
No,
kids.
there was a lot of complaints about the adult things
Some
in it.
underlying
Right.
stuff going on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so
They
Scooby
should.
Doo had adult themes, and I mean, bloody hell! I look, and I do understand that, but my thing is, why would you not? Why would you think this would be a kids' movie with the cast that they had in it?
because it's Barbie.
Because it's Barbie, and you do expect it.
Okay.
And
Go
I
ahead.
didn't see the movie, so I don't know how
Me either. I'm
how
just
detailed they
going by
got.
right. I'm just going by the news stories I heard and the complaints online was a lot of
But
these
you know,
Okay,
people
but
were going to take their daughters, and it
but
was
what
going to
was
be
the
a family
rating?
thing.
Yeah,
What was
that's
the
what I was
rating?
going
It
to say.
was
What
not
was the
rated
rating?
G, was it?
It
They didn't
wasn't.
pay attention to that. And again,
That's their fault.
right? It's their fault. Visually, they saw Barbie, and that's all they saw. They
Yeah.
And
zoned out.
so now you didn't do your due diligence, so now you want to sue
And
Mattel
Barbie
and
was
the
like,
company.
"We're gonna be a little edgy because we want the adults to come."
And
That
they
and
is
did.
adults have
exactly.
to
It
sit through
wasn't.
these movies.
See, Barbie was a nostalgia move. It was not for the new
But
people.
that's what I'm saying. They saw Barbie and they stopped. They stopped.
Yeah,
And said, "Oh, we're taking the 5-year-olds to go see this."
exactly.
No, but they didn't look over in that top left corner that said
And
it
it's their
was something
fault.
else.
And it's their fault.
And it wasn't PG. It
Listen,
wasn't
And it's their fault.
PG-13.
I've had just about enough of overly complaining suburban moms who have not done and dads who have not done their research. It's annoying. Now, granted, yes, you would expect for a Barbie movie to do that. But here's the thing. All you have to do is you do your research. I mentioned Scooby-Doo. They've done one or two Scooby-Doo movies. Hella adult themes in that, but Scooby-Doo is quote unquote for kids. All you have to do is look at a lot of these live action movies, unless they have a G rating. If it's anything above a G, know that it's rated like that for a reason. So you
Right.
didn't look at past things that were for past movies that were for kids, or franchises that have now crossed over, to know that this could possibly be a thing. B, you didn't go watch it yourself or do enough of a deep dive yourself to determine if you want your children to watch it. C, you didn't look at the rating. At the very least, look at the rating and say, oh no, we're not going to see that. But now you want to blame other people? No, you won't. No, you won't. That's you. The same thing like you trying to sue Facebook for undue distress to your, or for Instagram. I get it, but it's still on you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
True.
So I think again that the biggest thing with Barbie is not, I haven't seen it, so I can't say that it's not a good movie. I'm not the target audience, but would it have been as great of a movie if there were other contenders there? Remember, we are coming out of a pandemic and just kind of getting back into full production. The strike happened around that time. Not that that strike would affect the release of Barbie, but the pandemic would have. So you don't have anywhere near as many productions as we're used to having for a summer. So you had two choices. And obviously, one of them is going to, do, or both will do very well. When all you have to eat is peanuts, it tastes like steak. That's all I have to say.
No, I mean, I'm just saying personally, I'm not, it has to be a great movie for me to go in the movie theater, because you're sitting in there for 2 hours.
So you had your choice between Oppenheimer and Barbie.
So you could blow up the world.
Neither.
Or you could
I chose neither one.
Right. And so because Oppenheimer was deep and philosophical.
I will watch that when it comes on the streamer.
Yeah, that's a home movie. I'm not going to the theater to see that.
Yeah, like I said, Color Purple will get me into the movies.
Now, okay, so Dr. Tachi, continue, because I want to know, is Color Purple coming out soon? Is this a remix, or is this the coming back to the theater?
Oh, this is I think we actually talked about this before, right?
Yeah, it's not a remake of the Spielberg version. It is a make of the Broadway play, which I saw.
It's a musical adaptation of that Broadway play.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like whatever the dude's name would, Hamilton. It's like Hamilton, but Color Purple version, right?
Yes, it will. Okay. If you go in expecting the Danny Glover, Whoopi Goldberg version, that's not, you're not going to see that.
You're going to see the play version.
The storyline is the same because it's based off the book, but the play was based off the book more than the movie. If you're getting what I'm saying,
correct?
Got it. Yes,
so
I get it.
You will recognize the movie, but it won't be a carbon copy of the 86. 1986.
I think that was 85, 86.
85. Yeah. It's not a remake of that.
It's the theater version.
It's not gonna be like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, musical, but it's not going to be exactly you're going to love it, is what I'm saying, because I saw the Broadway play, blew me away. It was great. It was different from the movie. I love the movie. So I'm going to love this from the trailer, from what I've seen, and I'm a fan of Alice Walker. So
yeah, I didn't mean musical, because I know all plays are not musical.
There's music, because remember that they're singing and they're in the church and they're in the
but it's not every scene. It's not every scene singing.
It's not an operetta.
No, it's not going to be that. If you're not a fan, it's not a musical, even though it was a musical. If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Because I'm like, okay, y'all can stop singing and just act.
Not the Oprah Winfrey one. Oprah is producing.
Yes,
but it's not. You will know the movie. Is all I'm saying. You'll know it.
So Oprah has her hands all in this. Mm-hmm. Steven Spielberg is back again with this. Quincy Jones, of course, and Scott Sanders. Now, the Broadway musical, The Color Purple, actually premiered in 2005, so it's quite some time
Yep.
since it premiered. I
Mhm.
saw The Color Purple, the musical, when it came to the Broward Center here in South Florida, and it was really good. I think it's also the type of musical that you have to be in the mood for.
Yeah.
It is not a happy go. We already know the story of it, so it's not
Yes.
like happy go lucky. So if you're not in the mood for that, I
Right.
would not suggest going to see it. But it was actually really well done. And the time I saw it is like everybody was. Did you see when Fantasia Barrino was in it?
Yeah, I was there when
Okay.
when she was in it. It was spectacular. Her and LaChance, I think her
Yes.
name is.
Yes.
They were great. It was everybody bravo. It was great. So I don't know how the traveling Broadway shows
The
are.
traveling show was good, but see, I
Mhm.
think a lot of people also, for some reason, thought Fantasia was good. I'm like, it's a traveling show. No, Fantasia's
She's
not going to be
not.
in it.
No, she was. It was great.
Yeah, it was
great.
a lot of the magic had to do with Fantasia.
Mhm.
So let's talk about some of the people that were going to be in it. So Halle Bailey is
Yeah.
playing a young Nettie. Now, Halle
Yeah.
Bailey is on fire since she's played The Little Mermaid. There's a
Mhm.
lot of shine on her. So once you get roles like that,
Mhm.
it's a shoo-in that
Yeah.
she's going to get other things. Coleman Domingo is going to be Mr. And they killed it with this one. This was good casting. Taraji P. Henson is going to be Suge Avery.
Oh, she's great.
Perfect.
I could tell from the
Perfect.
trailer. She just that's what I'm saying. I go by the trailer and I'm like, this is gonna be it. And it's the Christmas movie. It's the Christmas date, which is perfect.
Mm.
The perfect date.
Yes. Exactly. So I am excited to see that. Now, am I going to the theater? No, but I
No,
am
I'm
excited.
going.
I'm excited. I know you
That
are.
tells you a lot. I haven't been to a movie in I don't know when.
Okay, just armor
This
up.
one,
Just
I'm
telling
going.
you, armor up.
I'm going.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Just go and
Did
God.
we show Mark's
And I'm not
comment?
and to compare this, okay, I was gonna go to the Beyonce movie. I'm not going to that.
Mm-mm.
I'm not going.
Mm-mm.
It's 3 hours. I cannot do that.
That's a
In
movie
the
from home.
clothes, I'm thinking, but
No,
Color
that's a
Purple,
home. Yeah, that's a home movie that you
yeah,
watch
I'm
at the
not.
house.
And then people gonna be singing and dancing and in the aisles and like the Taylor Swift
Absolutely. And
stuff.
they're going to be, you won't be able to see it anyway because
I
there'll be
don't
so
want
much.
that. It's and it's going to come to Netflix because she has a 3-picture deal with Netflix.
Exactly. I will stay here and watch it on Netflix. It will
So yeah,
be
so
beautiful.
I'm telling you, it's coming to Netflix because she has a 3-picture deal and she's already done 2.
And you won't be able to see the
No.
movie anyway because
You
there'll be
won't
so
see
much
nothing. You
silver in
won't
the
hear
audience.
nothing. There'll be silver disco balls
Exactly.
everywhere.
And
And
you're
it's
in New
3
York
hours.
City. I don't even know why you contemplated going.
No, I was gonna just say, I was gonna go, and I was like, wait a minute, it's 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and everybody's gonna be there in disco outfits. In the not that I'm putting it, I'm like, it's gonna be a fun experience. I don't want to do that. I can do it at home. So
That's not the experience you're looking for.
that's not. It's coming to Netflix. It's coming
Okay,
to. I'm telling you right now, it's coming to Netflix. So just hold on next year.
So, from a person who went to see the Jackson 5 at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, way up in the thing with all the girls screaming, Michael, I'll watch it at home.
Yes, because
Yes,
you won't hear a thing, and then from what I understand, her movie is going to be the concert, and then talking pieces and things, and you won't hear a thing.
like a
It will be
documentary.
similar
and
to like
dancing.
Homecoming, right?
Yes, remember Homecoming? She had things. They were not backstory and
Backstage.
behind the scenes and speaking where she's talking, and you want to hear what she's saying, but they're still dancing.
And I loved Homecoming. But yeah,
Homecoming is great. I watch that all the time.
Me too. I think this will be a particular Beyonce's film now is a particular film for what in person or at the theater, I should say, is for people that want that experience, maybe that did not get to go and see.
Right. That's what it's for.
That's who it's for. So
it's
they'll
gonna
get
be
a
a Rocky
chance to dress
Horror
up.
picture show kind of thing.
Exactly. And I think theaters, look, AMC, Cinemark, Regal, if you don't capitalize off of that, you deserve to close.
Exactly.
This is giving you this and the Taylor Swift, and I haven't heard them do anything spectacular for Taylor Swift. If they and Taylor Swift's concert film is doing particularly well. So
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything like, oh, they're offering these experiences.
I mean,
Look,
merch
you should
and different things.
upsell.
And yeah.
Upsell. If they don't go to Temu and buy a whole bunch of silver stuff so that
I
they
don't get
can
a disco
sell,
ball cup when I
thank
go.
you. They're not thinking.
If I don't
right,
get
but
that little silver horse.
yeah,
That's what they should be doing. But you're right. You're right. So Mark has a funny comment.
Okay, so this is in reference to something that happened a little while back. He said people are sitting around waiting for something on which to direct their outrage rather than focusing on their own messed up life. I believe we're talking about
that was the Barbie thing. Yeah, the soccer moms complaining about Barbie.
Yeah, they will always find something.
Yeah.
And then he said, TJ is using Seven Brides for Seven Brothers as a musical film reference as elicited concerns. Bless her heart.
I was trying to think of some musicals like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, or because I like musicals. A lot of people don't like musicals. I like musicals. West Side Story, I love it. Things like that, but they have to be good ones. So that was the only thing I could think of was the Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
But it's hilarious because the fact is that is your musical reference, and I'm like, wow, you are a musical theater person, and as a musical theater kid, I don't
know the new movies, but give me some old stuff. I know it. Like I have my Gigi is my favorite.
Listen, my mother kept The Sound of Music in Oklahoma on repeat. Yeah, so we had those records, a whole bunch of records from musicals. So you end up knowing the songs, you end up doing that, which is probably what sparked my love for musical theater and why I was in high school. I did a lot of it. So How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, and what is the musical with Chicago? In Chicago.
Yes, I saw that in the movie theater. I went with a coworker. She fell asleep.
Wow.
The whole. I was like, did you? She was like, oh, it's all. I was like, you missed the whole.
I enjoyed I enjoyed Chicago. Yeah.
In fairness, when it comes to things like that, we work so much and so hard, and when you get into a place where the lights go out, it's time to. So it has sometimes nothing to do with the movie.
She had just had young kids, so she's tired, and the lights went out, and it was Chicago, and she was like, and I'm sitting there like, oh, but so
no, exactly. So I think it's more of a product of being so tired and overworked in our society that the moment you get to sit down in a comfortable chair and the lights go out, that means good night. So I've done it before. So which is why I know I can't be in some of these have the recliner chairs where your legs can come up. So I'm like, if it's not an action adventure movie and it's something like a romantic comedy, forget it. I'm asleep.
So, and then another thing with the same coworker, we went to see Dreamgirls when it was released. I wanted to see it. It was great. And she was like, oh, it was all right. I'm like, okay, you and I can't go see musicals anymore. No, we're still friends. It's just
we're not musical buddies.
You're either in the musicals or you're not. So that's why. And then Mark has another comment because I threw the Gigi thing. I thought he was going to say something about Gigi.
TJ has to leave early. She's watching Unsinkable Molly Brown on Betamax. Wow. On Betamax.
Wow.
Woo!
Wow.
Mark, you keep them coming, Mark.
Or Thoroughly Modern Millie.
I just happen to like those kind of, what is it? Not CinemaScope. Dr. Todd, you know what I'm talking about. That Technicolor. No, not Technicolor. It's the thing where they squeeze the. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, you're right. CinemaScope.
CinemaScope. That's it. Thank you. Anything CinemaScope, I'm there.
Yeah, well, you know why they squeezed it? Because it was too big for the frame. So
Right.
they had to squeeze it to fit everything in.
Right.
So, yeah, modern
Yeah, there
times
you
have.
go.
That's why now you see if you watch something that is like a 4K movie, even with
Mhm.
the HD, you've got the two bars on
Right.
the top and the
Right.
bottom. It's because they've compressed it to be able to fit, and otherwise it wouldn't fit on the screen. So interesting. All right, I'm going to give you two last things because we are at time. Let's talk about Taylor Swift since we're talking about that. The lady has entered her billionaire era. She is feeling the gold rush. Okay. So she released her latest re recorded album, 1989, Taylor's version. Now, 1989 has been released, but it's been re released. And Bloomberg has said that she has achieved billionaire status now because
Ooh.
of this. So,
Mhm.
and because of the tour. So her record breaking Eras tour catapulted her net worth to 1.1 billion. So
Okay.
she's not a solid billionaire yet, okay? Because you're at the baby billionaire stage. Because you spend too much, you're no longer a billionaire. So,
She can't hang with the real billionaires.
right, right, right. She's not billion. She's like a baby
She can
billionaire.
hang with Zuckerberg. Can't
Exactly.
hang with Bezos.
Exactly, exactly. So her company is actually called Swift Incorporated. And basically what that is a multinational conglomerate of the world's most devoted customer base. And we know this because those Swifties, Swiffers, whatever they are
Swiffers.
diehards. Right.
It's Swifties, not Swiffer. That would be the
Oh,
little
Swifty.
Swifties.
Oh, okay.
the
Swifties.
Swiffer cleans the
Whatever.
floor.
Swiffer.
I just said whatever.
I
This
don't care. So
Swifties.
according to Bloomberg, they're estimating that the 53 city US tour dates that she did and the
Mhm.
added 4.3 billion that it added 4.3 billion to the country's gross domestic product.
Shut up.
Are you hearing what
Wow.
I said?
Yeah.
That the 53 tour dates she had added 4.3 billion to the gross domestic product.
Wow.
what can I
Hmm.
tell you? And everywhere she goes, that city seems to prosper. It's like they just take over the city.
Well, the NFL's loving it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
aren't they? Every time she shows up, they sell out,
Look,
and
look, everybody's tuning in,
they hadn't been doing that.
Mhm. Makes
So,
everybody forget how toxic the NFL is, but I digress.
Yeah.
so I'm just saying,
Just Swiffer.
you might want to, don't invest in this. Invest in her. Don't get it
Swiffer.
twisted. We are not talking about the Swiffer.
Swifties.
we are
We are
talking
talking
about
about
this.
Miss.
Swifties.
We are talking about the Swifties because that's a problem.
That's funny.
Oh, goodness gracious, gracious. All
I'm
right.
just saying.
So good for her, but the thing is, well, Beyonce is already, she and Jay-Z are already billionaires.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm.
that this is
And
new.
what is going to happen now that they have been seen sitting together in the theater?
Oh,
Okay,
for her
I'm like,
premiere. For her premiere, the Taylor Swift movie's premiere.
Yes, of
for
course,
her
because nobody
opening.
wants to seem
Yeah.
like a hater by not going. So of course, of course. But the thing is, it's not just Taylor Swift. You have to look at Beyonce is another force when it comes to that. This
Yep.
tour that she did, and it's interesting how I don't see a figure of the same for Beyonce because I
Mhm.
know it was probably equal, if not
And I
more.
think she did more shows. I think hers was 56 shows.
Exactly. Exactly. So she did more shows.
Mhm.
People could, I mean, it was crazy between the people because you're also not just counting the people who bought the tickets through, I don't know if it was Ticketmaster or not, Live Nation or
Mhm.
whatever,
Mhm.
that
Look
through
at
there are
Mhm.
people who bought them and then sold them for way more
Yeah.
than what they were worth. So that
Mhm.
ups it, in all the cases. So it's interesting that I have not seen this same type of article and figure for Beyonce, but I will look for it because I want to see what the economic impact for her
Well, they
was.
said she went was it Sweden? Someplace she went and it affected their economy.
Did
Some country.
Absolutely. Yeah, the
yeah.
arts aren't
Mhm.
important, right? Okay.
Right.
Yeah. One
Okay.
of the countries, I forgot.
I mean, it's interesting that this is one person because, all right, I'll give you a figure. And Terralina, you could probably um, identify with this. So in 2013, I went to DC for Delta's centennial.
Mhm.
For those of you who don't know, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, that's the sorority I'm a member of. And so we had our centennial in DC. And one of the things I think all of the Black Greek lettered organizations aim to do is to leave wherever they were better. And that's economic impact, that's service, etc. And that's for all of us. But there was a figure that was put out there that when we, because sorority members will buy not just
Mhm.
sorority stuff, but they will buy stuff.
We gonna
So
go shopping. We come to
we
go
will
shopping.
shop.
Shop.
I think the figure that I heard was that when we had Centennial, we brought $88 million to Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Mhm. Yep, and I think Z5B brought about 55 to Philadelphia.
to
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Wow.
So, when these things functions happen, it does affect the gross domestic product. you know. So,
It does. So I just think that these people need to remember this when we do, and it has an effect because it also then you start because I'm sure with Z5B it was the same way that
mhm.
you start getting other cities that petition you all
Yes,
for hey, can you bring your thing in? Because I know here in Broward County, they were like, oh, we need some of that money here. Can you all bring
Yeah,
XYZ
I bet.
here? Of course, but then you have to look at, well, do you have a place that can house everybody? Because truth be
Mhm.
told, I mean, DC is it's a big city, but it's a smaller city. I lived there for 9 years. I'm like, where are we all gonna fit in DC? So yeah, and in terms of things, so yeah, of course, the convention center, but there were so many people because it's the 100th that you then have to end up spreading out to Maryland and having stuff there. And so there's no one big place that can do that. So when you're doing these things, these cities need to think, all right, well, can we attract the Taylor Swifts? Can we attract the Beyoncés? Do we have a place to do that? Because the thing is, it's not just about the show itself. It's the fact that people will travel from different places to go. You
exactly.
know how many people went to go see, for example, Usher? Usher is another one. Went to
Yeah.
go see Usher in Paris. They're like, oh, the Paris? Perfect thing. I get to see Usher and I get to go to Paris. When he did his residency in Vegas, you know how many people go? So it's also the fact that people will travel internationally and across this country to go see. So you're bringing in dollars as well. So cities really need to think about that when it comes to these two. So, all right, last thing I want to talk about, because I don't want to belabor the point. Tyler Perry, I gotta add this in. We talked about it on Wednesday, and so I have to do this. So Tyler Perry has a first look 8-picture deal with, oh gosh, hold on, I'm losing the thing. Okay, so he has a, sorry, here we go. First look 8-picture deal with Netflix. This
Wow.
new creative partnership. So, as you know, Tyler Perry tried to buy BET and it did not happen. Also, what's the name did as well. Uh, Byron Allen.
Byron,
But yeah,
Byron
Byron,
Allen,
yeah.
amongst others. There were
Mhm.
others, but those were the two big ones that had their hat in the ring. So he basically was not happy. He's come out and said that he felt disrespected during the entire process, and when asked if he would go for it again if it was up for sale, he was basically like, no thank you, Godspeed. And I mean, you probably dodged a moving train with that one, because now he has this first look 8-picture deal, multi-year. It spans over 4 years, so 8 pictures over 4 years with Netflix. Good for
Mhm.
him. So he already has 5 films under his belt at Netflix: A Fall from Grace, A Medea Homecoming, The Jazzman's Blues. He produced his first screenplay, written 27 years earlier, which is A Jazzman's Blues. And then there's the upcoming World War II set drama 6888 and the thriller Mea Culpa. So, yeah, he's got some things going on at Netflix. So what, BET? That's what he's saying. Oh, you don't want me to buy you? So what? So, it's just very interesting. I don't think that BET was really, this is what I think. I think that Viacom was willing to sell off BET Plus, and some other things, but they had somebody in mind. They wanted to buy it. When Byron Allen and Tyler Perry came forward with this, I don't think those were the people that they had in mind to buy it. So rather than go through, oh, well, we're really not saying it, and they just made it like, I guess, a hellish experience or whatever. So because if you are selling something, you can't like that. You can't just say, oh, okay, you could buy it. You have to offer it up for public sale, especially when it is publicly traded. You can't just give it to who you want to give it to. So I think that is part, and I'm just postulating this could be what it is, but better for you, because to bring BET to the level of an actual decent channel will take a lot of foresight as a leader and a lot of money. You don't want that. Forget that. And I'm done. That's what we have this week.
Wait.
Well, Mark did have this to say about Tyler. He says Tyler Perry's making bad writing profitable again. I'm thinking because when I think of him, I think of Medea. But then when you were naming these other films, I'd seen a couple of them, and yes, I like the fact that he's got another genre. So,
right. All right, are we ready for the answers to our quiz?
Yes.
Play that music.
okay.
Okay. So the first answer was to the, do I need to go back and look at the
question?
Anyway, the questions again?
Yes.
Probably.
All right, so let me do this. Let me do a screenshot because they just took me to something else. And I'm going to go through like that. Okay, so here we go. The first question: which automaker reached a tentative deal with the UAW this week? Anybody want to answer?
Ford.
We all said Ford.
Ford is the correct answer.
Okay.
What is the name of the U.S. Speaker of the new U.S. Speaker of the House?
Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson, but I also gave Barnaby Jones.
Barnaby Jones.
She said me. Okay, hold on a second. You guys are funny. Okay, and it's Mike Johnson. Okay, question number 3. Which NBA team signed a jersey sponsorship deal with the company behind the Las Vegas Sphere? A, Brooklyn Nets. B, Los Angeles Lakers. C, New York Knicks. D, Oklahoma City Thunder.
I said the Lakers because
I said the Lakers.
I think they had the deepest pockets. So,
well, here's the thing. I said E. Who knows? But I'm going to go with Oklahoma, maybe because they need the exposure.
The answer is C, the New York Knicks.
What? See,
Yeah,
that's what I get
who
for
knows?
not paying attention to the news this week.
With The Killers of the Flower Moon, director Martin Scorsese posted his best opening since which of his other films? A, Shutter Island. B, The Wolf of Wall Street. C, Hugo. D, The Irishman.
I said B, Wolf of
whoa.
Wall
he
Street.
said the Wolf of Wall Street.
If it's the Irishman, I'm going to be upset.
And the answer is A, Shutter Island.
Shutter Damn Island. Nobody even knows that movie. That's nonsense.
Did anybody see that? Anybody?
I
No.
saw it. I was confused. I was
No.
like, okay, I'm done with this movie. But
So, well, if it was that confusing, all he would have to do is make $2 above for it to be his best. So, all right, I'll give you
Wow.
that.
Like, shut up. What?
and I don't hear our music, but okay.
We
Question
need
number
music.
5.
You need
Question
music.
number 5. Britney Spears released her new memoir this week. What is it called? A, Toxic. B, The Woman in Me. C, Overprotected. Or D, My Life So Far.
It's the
Be
woman.
the woman in me.
And the answer is B, The Woman in Me.
Ah,
That is your quiz
That
for
was fun.
this time. I don't know when I'm going to do this again. I got to find out.
Now the music.
Now the music.
Okay, we got a little bit of music. And that is your week in tech history as well, with our media and social media. We hope you got some information, were informed, and had some fun today. Looking forward to seeing you next week. I do believe Monday is the first Monday.
oh, okay. Yes, yes,
Okay.
it is.
Monday is the first Monday, and we will be having a meeting at Seasons 52. Terry will be joining us live from Philadelphia. Was it?
Mhm.
No, from Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
And so thank you all.
Oh my gosh. So Mark did see Shutter Island. So somebody saw it, and he said the Irishman would have taken you through the entire pandemic. So
To finish
there
it.
we
Yeah, The
go.
Irishman was a long movie,
Okay.
and it definitely wasn't for kids. Okay.
Oh, someone said Monday is October 31st. So no.
Okay, so we have one more. Okay, it's the next following. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. We got 2 weeks before first Monday. We have five weeks this week.
This month.
This month. Okay. So Dr. Tachi will be on Mediascope on Wednesday, and TJ will be back with us on Tuesday. We will all be back here on next Friday, and we want to say happy birthday, Terry.
Thank you. Turn it this way.
Okay, turn it that way.
Yeah, there you go.
And then if you do this, happy birthday, Terry. Her birthday is
that's how you do it.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Terry.
Happy birthday.
Anything
Thank you
special
so
happening?
much, guys.
And then
Love you.
to get these wonderful reactions, it is in your the latest update on Mac OS. It is included. You have to go up on the top right of your screen on where the what is that video icon is, video camera icon
I see
is, and
it.
turn
I'm
on the
looking at it
reactions
right now.
You can go up there and hit that, and then scroll down to reactions and turn them on. And so the peace sign is the balloons. The double peace sign is confetti. The rock star signs is, okay, I forgot. There it is. Lights, camera, action.
Oh, I see.
Thumbs up. 1 thumb down. 2 thumbs down is rain, I believe.
Yeah, you get a cloud and yeah.
Okay, come on. But I think Terry did it before.
Yeah.
2 thumbs down.
Yeah, we had
rain.
some clouds going on. There we go. There we go.
So we got and what I think with TJ, what did you learn that you have to use
I'm not using the Mac camera. I have
right. So
I was about to ask if is it only if you're using the FaceTime?
Yeah,
camera?
FaceTime. It was a FaceTime reaction.
Okay, well that's never going to happen for me.
FaceTime reactions.
Right, and I believe it works on your phones too if you are doing your FaceTime stuff on your phone. But this works in all of them. I think it works in Zoom as well. So we don't have to have them same stuff.
Okay.
But you have to be using the OS. And did it say something about Android? I think it's just OS. Okay, that's it. Thank you, everybody. We look forward to seeing you next week. Have a really wonderful. Oh, wait. If you want to become a part of BizChicks, just text biz to 33777 or go to bizchicks.net. And we will see you next time. Have a great
Bye-bye, everyone.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Well, I guess I can get there.